Today in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichungwa, the majority leader, created a very interesting and dramatic debate which I want you to watch and listen to before we jump right into our critical analysis.
Management Act also obligates government, again, Honorable Speaker, because those who have been speaking out there, and I have in mind the Wiper leader, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, because I have heard the Wiper leader say that we do not know where this money is going. I have heard the minority leader, deputy minority leader, Honorable Robert Mbui, say in press conferences, we do not know where this money is going to go to. The new clause 76, amending the PFM Act, obligates that any sale of shares will go to the consolidated fund. So those who are just speaking out there, Honorable Speaker, must know that now we are obligated by law that all this money, even what was in the bill was amended by the committee, that you cannot even have a special account that was interest-bearing to then later transfer within 90 days to the consolidated fund. See if the member for Naivasha would be in the House, or the member for Kajiado North, who I saw addressing a press conference out here on the IPO of Kenya Pipeline, but none of them were there. And you can see even now they are not here, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the new clause 76 also speaks to the dilution of shares in state corporations.
What's your point of order?
And it must be a point of order, not just a nuisance, Honorable
Thank
Speaker.
you, Honorable Speaker. Is it of our colleagues criticizing that they didn't bring the amendment? An amendment can be brought by will. Maybe they didn't want to bring. It's also part of protest. They are protesting out there, and they are protesting by leaving that amendment so that you do it the way you know.
What is the point of order there now, Honorable Speaker? That is a point of argument.
You're out of order.
Honorable Speaker, you know, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Wanjiku Muhia, because she was also not in the House, I was only mentioning those members who shout out there in funerals, in street rallies, but they are not there when you are doing legislation. Even yourself as a member for Kipipiri, you are not here. And you even have no idea what this privatization bill is speaking about. You have no idea what shares dilution is. You are blank. You have no idea on anything. Honorable Wanjiku Muhia.
Let's proceed. Proceed, Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying my last point was on shares dilution. Because part of the privatization, Honorable Speaker, speaks to dilution of shares in state corporations. And we have made sure that today, if the state is even to dilute shares in any state corporation, for instance, we own, I think, about 35% of Safaricom. If the state wants to dilute that shareholding from 35% to 25%, Honorable Speaker, that now
Madam
we also
Speaker,
obligate the House.
Is it in order for
sure
majority leader to say member for Kipipiri was not there while I was seated right there, and I even received the response for my statement on the roads? Is it in order for this leadership to be speaking of certain members of my group that they are not in the House, to try to tell their constituencies that the members are not the House? I'm in the House now. Why is this leadership forming this tradition to try to incite the constituencies about the members who subscribe to Amunyoro? It is one term.
Honorable Muhia, you have made your point. I think proceed to
Honorable
move.
Speaker,
Let
Honorable
us
Speaker.
restrain ourselves to the moving of the...
Honorable Speaker, I was saying if you are to dilute shares, and I want Honorable Wanjiku Muhia to listen to me. If you are to dilute shares, dilution is reducing in layman's language. If you are to reduce the shareholding of Safaricom today from 35% to 25%, we have now obligated with an amendment in a new clause 76, an amendment to the PFM Act, that even that dilution in a state-linked corporation, because some are quasi-private, but the state has a link because the state holds shares. If you are to do that, Parliament must also now approve. That tells you that for any sale of any government investment, you cannot do it without the express approval of the National Assembly on behalf of the people of Kenya. That is part of the public participation, Honorable Speaker, that we are obligated, because when you involve the National Assembly, we are again obligated by the Constitution to make sure that in any of the processes that we do, we involve the public, and therefore public participation will be integral in the dilution, in the sale of any state investments, Honorable Speaker. And with that, I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, that we do read this privatization bill for a third time, and request Honorable Naomi Wako, who was with me here up to 9 p.m. And I have no apologies, Honorable Speaker, when I say that members are not in the House. Honorable Wanjiku Muhia was not here. Honorable Kibagendi was not here. The member for Kajiado was not here. Robert Mbui was not here. They are not all here. Even that rudderless, clueless, visionless group, none of them were here. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Inasmuch as the public always castigate Kimani Ichungwa for being too much into the government and sometimes forgetting to do his work as per the Constitution, we also need to give him credit where it is due. What the Member of Parliament is talking about is something of concern. Can you imagine that in our National Assembly, somehow, like a quarter of the Members of Parliament are always consistent in taking part in the proceedings in that particular house? The majority of them are always out doing their businesses. If we know that in that particular house is whereby the laws are made, it is whereby a member of parliament represents his people. So how can you be called a lawmaker if you don't take part in lawmaking in the National Assembly? And again, how can you represent your people if you are always absent in that particular house of representation? That is something that we are experiencing here in our country. Let me give you an example. Oscar Sudi, some months ago, sworn not even to go into that house to take part in any proceedings. This is one of the members of parliament who we can call them so blank-headed and also clueless in matters to do with the National Assembly. They are just there by the name, but they don't do their work as per the Constitution. So guys, that was my take. You can as well let me know yours in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I hope to catch you in our next video. Bye and take care.